Alright guys, how you guys doing? Ramon Rodriguez here. Welcome back to my channel. Alright, well, let's get it. Let's say we was gonna watch Kanye West and Kim Kardashian. Let's get it there. I'm not wasting my fucking time. Let's get it, boys.
He was a hipster rapper operating on a much higher plane. She was someone who was famous for being famous.
The combination of this really famous family that is incredibly stage managed, coupled with the most volatile.
Hold on, let's go get some ice for my soda. Let's go. Can y'all see me? Back to the piece. Get your snack, get your popcorn.
The Kardashians, dare I say, are like American royalty, or the American royal family.
Kim and Kanye actually ended up getting married in Florence. And of course, the wedding also became an entire episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
It's crazy that, Kanye and I have been so close for so many years. I finally feel like, I'm marrying my best friend.
Like everything that the couple did, especially in those early days, it was a spectacle.
Oh, I don't want to say that her marriage to Kanye West was just another plot point. It served as one.
Kanye's involvement in the Kardashian is particularly difficult because being in that family involves an aspect of fame that Kanye was never really interested in to begin with.
Keeping Up with the Kardashians is a reality TV show, and it was just focused on the Kardashian family.
So if you want to look up.
This is my first time doing this. I'm not actually attempting to do good.
Kanye mostly was not on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. He was uncomfortable being part of the reality show.
Being married into the Kardashian family was the worst thing for him, right? Because he was on display at all times. He was fair game. From that moment that you can sort of see his decline set in.
Yo, what's up, Jesus? I'm a big fan, bro. I love your work. I love your work. I appreciate it, but don't talk.
The spotlight was really not the best thing for him.
I don't want to hear paparazzi talk to me or anybody I know.
The entertainment world is smoke and mirrors, and some people are going to choke around the smoke.
Yo, I said it.
Kim was previously married to Damon Thomas, and that ended in divorce in 2004. Chris Humphries she was married to, that ended in divorce in April 19, 2013.
Talking about that.
The three main reasons that I've found for spouses to get divorced are infidelity, money, or they just fall out of love.
Kim and Kanye are from two different cultures. The backgrounds were just way too different. Kim is from Calabasas. He comes from a very affluential, privileged lifestyle. Kanye comes from the south side of Chicago, raised by a single mother.
And then I ran out of
Not a lot of glitz and glam in his background.
Got the issue that don't even look like it's good, but apparently inspired that says good.
That's a gritty city. It's a working class city, but it's also, they always had their eye on the bigger prize.
He had an English professor for a mother. He had a photojournalist and Black Panther for a father. But their home was broken, and I think both of those things influenced his character.
The Kardashians are very different. They very much grew up a Hollywood family.
Someone get a tape of this because I hope you do so you can see me when I'm famous and all day and remember me.
Kim Kardashian wanted to be famous. She worked for Paris Hilton, who was the kind of urtext in getting famous.
She learned about how Paris constructed her fame based off nothing, right?
A sex tape helps always, but a mother who was very keen on this idea of the family becoming an industry.
The reason that the Kardashian-Jenner brand has had so much longevity is because it's sort of the perfect storm. I think that the foundation of the brand has always been the show, and I think the longevity of the show has nurtured the longevity of the brands. Kris is absolutely not a passive mother. She is the mastermind of their careers.
That she is.
Keeping Up with the Kardashians sort of appealed to audiences in several ways. Early on, it was just a really fun reality show.
You'll see each of us and what we do individually in our daily lives and then how we come together.
What we do.
As the family got more famous, it became a way to potentially gain some insight into things that were happening with the Kardashians in real time.
Artistry is not what the Kardashians are about. They're about fame. Totally about fame. Kanye seemed frankly more concerned about creating and the act of creating in music than he did in fame.
Sounds like a lawsuit coming up.
Kanye West didn't get his start as a rapper. It took a lot of work for him to convince people that he was a capable rapper with a really unique voice that fans would respond to. And initially, he kind of struggled to be taken seriously.
He's gonna stop. You see, Stu.
There's a famous scene of him walking around trying to convince Def Jam to sign him, and it's not necessarily going over the way he thought it was. But once The College Dropout came out, especially his song Through the Wire, it became clear that he was something new.
Exactly. So y'all better get into now.
He was just really something different with a lot of credibility, but also pop savvy.
He was what we called back then a conscious rapper. So he wasn't rapping about guns and gangs and, the typical hardcore rap stuff.
I think genius is something that is simplified, but I will say 2,000 years from now, we'll be talking about Ye.
He put out some of the most influential, critically acclaimed albums of the aughts, and he has the biggest shoe line since Michael Jordan.
Look at these designs, look at these ideas all together.
He's one of the greatest product men known to our culture. He can give you a finite product in your hand that you touch and go, wow, I didn't see it like this, and now that I see it like this, is great.
I believe that the world can be saved through unselfish design, through unselfish creation.
The world can be saved through music.
I don't think I've ever spent the time with that man and he didn't say something to which he wanted to benefit humanity that day. I got a chance to meet Dr. Kanye West a couple times, and she changed my life. I look at her as not just his philosopher, his teacher, but also someone that was so interested in how he spoke that he had a fire to say more interesting things.
In 2022, there was a 3-part documentary called Genius that aired on Netflix. And it was really unlike anything I'd seen in a music documentary to have that much footage of him so intimately.
I'm so proud of you, and let me tell you what I'm about to do, mama. And I love you so.
The moment when Kanye West and Donda West were singing Mama together, I think it just showed that music was kind of a shared language for them, that like she was a fan of his music as much as she kind of knew him as a son.
Yeah? Tell me what happened. Ma'am, how old is this person?
Kanye will always blame himself for his mother's death because he paid for her plastic surgery, which she ultimately died from the complications of.
Wow.
It is impossible to overstate how much of an impact Donda West's death had on Kanye West. He was visibly, publicly shattered by this.
I'm at that point where, you know, I long to have a family, especially losing my mother. I just really wish that I had like the type of woman that would have supported me through a situation like that, you know.
That's deep, bro. Got me thinking. That shit got me thinking, bro.
The world's number one power couple. Kanye and Kim.
Kim Kardashian was definitely a turning point in his life. It would be really difficult to say if this is the thing that pulled him out of the depths of his grief, but it definitely was the start of something new for him.
Kim benefited from this relationship with Kanye more than Kanye did.
There was something just always a little bit D-list about her.
Kanye really helped elevate Kim's status from D-list to A-list. Before Kanye, brands literally would not dress Kim. She was blacklisted by a lot of the major designers.
Kanye, how was the show? Are you gonna make a new show this year?
He positioned her in certain places of high visibility. So she's no longer on the E network. Now she is like Paris Fashion Week front row.
Kim became so famous because she has an acute understanding of fame and how to use fame. Now she's the girlfriend, the wife, the mother of the children of one of the most famous rappers of all time.
The level of fame that the Kardashians have is enormous. And it seems like a lot of the men in their lives, who are often already famous, when they get to sort of that level, the pressure is too much for them and they can't handle it.
You couldn't handle getting photographed all the time. I'm retarded. They just made me look like that.
He did this show in Sacramento, and I was there, and he rants for 20 minutes.
Our sergeant was lying to people.
ends the show abruptly and just leaves, and we didn't get a show. Just nothing. His team, Kardashian included, were trying to convince us that he didn't have a mental health problem.
It became clear that there was a lot of tension and mental illness and volatility under the surface.
I'm actually one of his doctors. I'm just calling for my cell phone to request if we can have some police backup, because I don't think the paramedics, you can bring both. Yes, I think he definitely is going to need to be hospitalized, so I wouldn't just do the police by itself.
He was shipped into a psychiatric facility, and the 911 call that brought him there was leaked to TMZ. I'm sure that was added to his trauma and stress at the moment. He went on David Letterman later to talk about how this impacted him.
And you have this moment. You feel everyone wants to kill you. You pretty much don't trust anyone. And they have this moment where they put you, they handcuff you, they drug you, they put you on the bed. And they separate you from everyone you know.
It really brought home the stakes of what he was going through. But also how bracing of a moment it was that he needed to get much deeper help. Kim Kardashian came from a family where kind of any admission of weakness is non grata. Outside of the family didn't quite know what to do with someone in their fold kind of acting so erratically.
The last place he needed to be was with a family that was on TV and in social media and in the public 24/7. He's not a guy who is going to get any better being on that platform all day long like they are.
Let me tell you about crazy, because I went to the hospital. I was diagnosed with being bipolar. I went crazy. I am not crazy, but I definitely can go there if pushed.
Bipolar disorder is something that we use to describe individuals who have a mood disorder where they shift between moods, between their low lows, which is depression, and their high highs, which is mania. It's hard to describe exactly what episodes Kanye is in because we only see one side. But then also understanding how media plays this one side.
Almost as soon as he makes this announcement that he has bipolar disorder, we see him go off on a spree of media appearances that seem to just further his own unraveling.
Everyone listen to this, please. 2 days before I was in the hospital, I was on opioids. I was addicted to opioids. I had plastic surgery because I was trying to look good for y'all. I got liposuction because I didn't want y'all to call me fat like y'all called Rob at the wedding and made him fly home before me and Kim got married.
The TMZ interview seems pretty directly correlated to his bipolar diagnosis and his refusal to take medication. And it seems to kind of ramp him up and push him even farther, maybe, into this mania.
Once Kanye came out with his mental health diagnosis, there should have been more grace extended. In America, it's very easy to paint a black man as crazy or as aggressive or offensive.
What's up, Ye?
Yeah,
I always say Kanye talks like a college essay that no one proofread.
Hey, how you doing, kid?
But I think Chris and Kim are really mindful about their brand. That's a trigger for Kanye because, like he said, he cannot be managed. Like, you're not going to control me, and I'm going to say what I want to say, do it, I don't care what it looks like.
Kim is one of the most brand managed people in the world. Initially protecting Kanye was protecting the Kardashian brand. He was part of it. And it became apparent that that was actually not going to be the case. And then they started saying, okay, well, then we're going to show you in a different light because we need to protect ourselves.
So
over the years, we've seen a change in actually how they present him on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. It's darker and heavier, and it kind of focuses on more the hardships of their relationship versus kind of the like lighthearted moments of it.
Are my wife, and it affects me when pictures are too sexy.
You built me up to be this like sexy person and confidence and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And just because you're on a journey and you're on your transformation doesn't mean that I'm in the same spot with you. So.
Okay, all right, cool.
That's absolutely ridiculous. I think it might be used as a tactic or a way to paint Kanye as this unstable person.
Kim Kardashian has a lot to gain by playing nice. But that's also not the entire truth of sort of who she is. She's absolutely calculating. She's had to make some pretty ruthless business decisions in her life. And she's made them.
Kanye accused Kim and her mom of going against him.
Via social media, Kanye reveals that Kim and Kris are trying to lock him up and 5150 him again, not as for his own safety or for his protection, but control him and silence him and lock him up in a way that keeps their brand safe.
One of Kanye's big claims has been to talk about how much of a role Kris plays in the family and to accuse her of kind of puppeteering things. He's very clear that he feels that Kris is sort of controlling everyone in the family and making problems for him.
That's facts. So you saying
According to sources, what seemed to be kind of the final straw in their relationship was Kanye's rally in South Carolina.
The sense you got was that the rope was being sawed off from the good Chip Kardashian, and he was being pushed out on a lifeboat.
In terms of the public brand, Kim and Kris knew they had to cut Kanye loose.
Choose to get fierce.
They have to hire lawyers. Who's your money going to be on? Kardashian. Where did I know that name from? The Dream Team. Her late father, Robert Kardashian, was on O.J. Simpson's defense team. So many lawyers are a phone call away in hiring and working for the Kardashians.
Kim retained Laura Wasser, who had represented her during her second divorce and who had represented her mother, Kris.
Easy.
Kanye may be a rich and powerful artist, but he's never dealt with something as powerful as the Kardashian legal machine.
And when you hire someone like Laura Wasser, you hire them because they're matrimonial warfare generals.
Over the course of this divorce, Kanye seemed to run through 10 lawyers, maybe more. It seemed like every day he had new representation. I think he expected his lawyers to somehow change her mind or make his marriage solid again, and that just never seemed to be the case.
Kanye has to look out of state, and he hires Robert Cohen from New York, who famously represented Melinda Gates in her very expensive divorce from Bill Gates.
Sure, he can be asking to delay it one day from Monday to Tuesday, which I think we would say no to. I do represent people who've reached the highest level. Curiously, divorce is one of the most important things they're going to go through.
Bro, I couldn't find my smoke button.
In a lot of cases, this may be the biggest deal that they're ever going to go through.
Deal. biggest deal?
Because Cohen was an out-of-state lawyer, he had to hire a local California attorney to assist on the case. And that lawyer was Nick Saylor.
Juliana, what's Ye's new deposition date?
Okay, well, actually, I just updated the file. So his deposition is set for November 10th.
That's perfect.
Oh, here though, right?
My reputation as a family law attorney, to some extent, is being that attorney who comes in on the 90-yard line. I pick up the ball, and I carry it into the end zone. Robert Cohen's involvement was to be the face of the divorce case. Where you're dealing with Kim Kardashian and Laura Wasser. Frankly, I felt a little relieved when Bob Cohen came onto the case. I had learned through the media articles as well as just the demeanor of the litigation that Ye didn't want to get divorced from Kim and that he actually wanted to save the marriage. This was not a guy that was going to take the end of his marriage lying down. Kanye had always been really skilled at using the media to advance the narrative that he's kind of pushing at.
Part 2 coming up,
And at this moment in time, it was to win back Kim.
Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. Instagrams and links are all in the description. So.